If you've got a sunny patch of garden and you're not sure what to plant this spring, don't worry, we've got you covered. Spring is the perfect time to plant perennials. The soil's warming up and new growth takes off quickly, giving your plants time to settle in and bloom beautifully by summer. And the best part? These sun-loving varieties will come back every year, stronger and more stunning. In this video, we're sharing 10 of the best full-sun perennials to plant right now. They're bold, beautiful, pollinator-friendly, and super easy to grow. Let's dive in. Let's start with a garden favorite that never goes out of style, the Shasta daisy. With its bright white petals and cheerful yellow centers, the Shasta daisy brings that iconic, clean look to any sunny garden. These perennials are reliable bloomers and add a classic charm to borders, walkways, and cutting gardens. Shasta daisies bloom from early summer all the way into early fall, especially if you keep up with deadheading. They grow in tidy clumps and can reach between 1.5 to 3 feet tall, depending on the variety. Their upright form and sturdy stems make them perfect for cutting, and they last long in vases, brightening up any room. These daisies love full sun and well-drained soil. They don't need much fertilizing and can even handle periods of drought once established. Spring is the ideal time to plant them, just after the last frost, because they get a full season to root in, grow strong, and prepare to bloom by midsummer. Beyond their beauty, Shasta daisies are low-maintenance, deer-resistant, and pollinator-friendly. If you're building a fuss-free garden that still delivers color and life, this one's a must. Chamomile may be delicate in looks, but it's tough, hardworking, and full of charm. You've probably heard of chamomile tea, but in the garden, this herbaceous perennial adds soft beauty, a sweet apple-like scent, and a calming presence. Its dainty white petals and golden yellow centers resemble tiny daisies, and they bloom from late spring through summer, offering months of quiet grace. There are two main types, Roman chamomile and German chamomile. Roman chamomile is ideal for sunny borders, herb gardens, or even as a soft ground cover. It spreads gently and stays compact, rarely growing taller than a foot. It thrives in full sun and lighter, well-drained soils, preferring conditions that aren't overly rich. Plant it in early to mid-spring, and you'll often see blooms by June. It does particularly well in herb spirals, edging paths, or planted near vegetables where it can help attract pollinators. If you let the flowers dry, you can harvest them for homemade tea. Chamomile might look delicate, but it's one of the most useful, calming, and garden-friendly plants you can grow. Looking for a statement plant with modern style and old-fashioned toughness? Say hello to ornamental onion. These globe-shaped bloomers are absolutely magnetic in the garden. Their round, perfectly spherical flower heads, often in shades of violet, purple, or white, sit high atop tall, slender stems and bloom from late spring into early summer. They're eye-catching, architectural, and great companions to softer plants like grasses or daisies. Alliums are part of the onion family. They release a subtle scent that deters deer, rabbits, and other garden grazers. Meanwhile, pollinators, especially bees, flock to them. They prefer full sun and very well-drained soil, and they're incredibly drought-tolerant once established. Although traditionally planted as bulbs in fall, many varieties, especially smaller ones or nursery-grown starts, can be planted in spring and still bloom by late summer or set strong roots for a stellar display the next year. Use alliums in drifts or clusters for big visual impact. They look great with peonies, salvias, and catmint, and even when the blooms fade, their seed heads provide unique structure that lasts through late summer. Want a little edge in your garden? Globe thistle has the look and the attitude. With its spiny, spherical flowers in a gorgeous metallic blue, this plant feels both wild and elegant. Globe thistle begins blooming in mid to late summer, just when other perennials start to slow down. It brings height, texture, and it looks just as striking in a naturalistic meadow as it does in a more polished perennial border. Each flower ball is made up of tiny blooms that pollinators absolutely love, especially bees and butterflies. And here's the best part, it's practically immune to deer and drought. Once it's in the ground, it needs very little help from you to keep going strong. Plant globe thistle in full sun with well-drained, even poor soil, and it will thrive. Spring is the best time to introduce it to your garden, as it needs a bit of time to settle before sending up those bold stems later in the season. If you're building a pollinator garden or looking for a plant that can handle hot, dry conditions without fading, globe thistle should be near the top of your list. If you're looking for a long-blooming, low-fuss perennial that brings both beauty and reliability, hardy geraniums are your garden's quiet heroes. Unlike their annual cousins you find in window boxes, these hardy geraniums are true perennials, returning every year with graceful, mounded foliage and vibrant blooms in shades of purple, pink, and blue. They bloom from late spring all the way into early fall, and many varieties offer a second flush of color if you give them a mid-season trim. They stay compact and tidy, usually growing around 12 to 18 inches tall, and spread gently over time without taking over. Hardy geraniums are perfect for front-of-border planting, softening edges or filling gaps between taller perennials. They prefer full sun to part shade and well-drained soil, but they're not picky. These are the kinds of perennials you plant once and forget about. Spring planting gives them a head start to establish a good root system and begin blooming by early summer. Hardy geraniums are also incredibly resistant to pests and diseases, and they attract plenty of bees while staying safe from deer. If you're designing a pollinator-friendly or low-maintenance garden, this one's a rock-solid choice. Bee balm isn't just a pollinator favorite, it's a summer celebration in flower form. Its vibrant, spiky blooms look like little bursts of fireworks in the garden, and they come in a fiery range of colors, from red and magenta to lavender and deep pink. Bee balm typically starts blooming in midsummer and can continue into early fall if you deadhead it regularly. This native plant is famous for attracting hummingbirds, bees, and butterflies, turning any sunny corner into a wildlife haven. Bee balm prefers full sun and moist, well-drained soil, but it's adaptable and can tolerate light shade. It's happiest when planted in spring, giving it time to fill out and form clumps before the heat of summer. It does spread a bit, so get it space. To prevent powdery mildew, plant it with good air circulation, avoid overhead watering, and give it breathing room. In the right spot, it becomes a bold, fragrant anchor in any sunny garden. Tough, timeless, and incredibly colorful, daylilies are the garden's ultimate perennial. Despite each bloom lasting just a day, each stalk carries dozens of buds, resulting in a display that can last from late spring through midsummer. Some cultivars are rebloomers, meaning they'll flower again in late summer or early fall. Daylilies come in almost every color except blue, with forms ranging from petite and frilly to bold and dinner plate-sized. They blend easily into mixed borders and look just as beautiful planted in large drifts as they do in small clumps. They thrive in full sun and average, well-drained soil, and they're unfazed by heat, drought, or neglect. Plant them in spring and they'll often bloom their very first season. Over time, they multiply, forming larger clumps that can be divided to fill out other parts of your garden. Best of all, they're resistant to most pests and diseases, and deer generally avoid them. For color, toughness, and sheer ease of care, few perennials beat the classic daylily. Coneflowers are bold, beautiful, and built to last, true icons of the sun-loving perennial world. With their sturdy stems, daisy-like petals, and signature cone-shaped centers, these native wildflowers bloom from early summer all the way into fall. The most famous type, purple coneflower, features deep pink-purple petals and orange centers, but newer varieties come in shades of white, yellow, red, and even green. They're more than just pretty, they're powerhouses for pollinators, offering nectar to bees and butterflies all summer long. Coneflowers love full sun and dried average soil. They're heat and drought tolerant, perfect for low-maintenance or prairie-style gardens. Plant them in spring to give them a full growing season to develop strong roots, and many will bloom that very summer. These perennials are also self-seeding, meaning they'll gently spread over time, giving you more blooms each year. And their upright form means they rarely flop, even in strong sun. They're as rugged as they are radiant. Veronica, also known as speedwell, is the quiet achiever in the sunny garden. Its upright flower spikes come in shades of blue, purple, pink, or white, adding a tidy, vertical touch to beds and borders. These blooms appear from early to midsummer and often continue for weeks, especially if you deadhead regularly. It's a fantastic perennial, blending beautifully with larger statement plants like coneflowers or daisies. Veronica stays compact and well-behaved, typically growing between 12 to 24 inches tall. It also attracts pollinators, particularly bees, and works great in both formal and wild-style gardens. This perennial loves full sun and moderately fertile, well-drained soil. Plant it in spring so it can get well-established before bloom time. Once rooted, Veronica handles summer heat with ease and has excellent resistance to disease and pests. It's a great choice if you want structure and movement without overwhelming your garden space. A few plants can go a long way in creating rhythm and repetition in sunny beds. Lupines bring vertical drama and cottage garden charm in one elegant package. Their tall, spiky blooms come in an incredible range of colors: blue, pink, purple, white, yellow, and even bicolors. Each bloom spike is made of dozens of tiny pea-like flowers that bloom from the bottom up, typically appearing in late spring to early summer. Lupines grow in dense clumps and are fantastic for adding height and bold color to sunny spots. They're also nitrogen fixers, which means they enrich your soil while they grow, a win for the plants around them. They prefer full sun and well-drained, slightly acidic soil, and they do best in cooler climates. Spring is the ideal time to plant them, early enough for a strong root system and a vibrant bloom in the same season. Just be gentle with transplanting because lupines dislike root disturbance. With their stately form, vibrant color, and eco-friendly benefits, lupines are a dream plant for spring gardeners looking to make an early season impact. And there you have it, men sun-loving perennials that are perfect for planting in spring. These beauties don't just survive in the sun, they thrive in it. From dainty chamomile to bold coneflowers and towering lupines, each one brings something special to your garden, whether it's color, fragrance, texture, or pollinators. Planting in spring gives them the time they need to establish strong roots, soak up the sunshine, and bring your garden to life through summer and beyond. Best of all, they'll come back stronger each year with just a little love. Thanks for spending time in the garden with us today. Until next time, keep growing, keep blooming, and we'll see you in the next video.